What is your favorite like concert moment or live performance moment for yourself? Like what are maybe not the one, like what are a couple of them? A couple of your just like favorite moments that stand out to you as a live. You're playing live, you know what I mean?
Playing live. I think one of them for sure is with Calamity, with me and you, when we played at the Cine 7, the old movie theater.
That was easily our best show.
That was so cool. I don't know what just the vibe of that show. It was in that old movie theater, so it felt like a legit venue.
Mm-hmm. The stage setup was really nice. The sound was really good.
And I just remember feeling like the stage was awesome, and like the room was just packed, and like we had everybody and the whole crowd in the palm of our hand, and you'd give a speech and we were like jamming behind it, and I could just feel everybody like getting into it.
That was probably the first time I ever, like, when talking to the crowd, I actually got responses, and like I could see it in people's eyes, like they were actually listening. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it was kind of hitting them in a little bit. So that was really fun, yeah.
That was definitely like
we were getting people on stage.
A real like feeling.
Yeah, we got people to mosh, and like people were doing it without even us telling them to. You know, like that's how the music was hitting them.
Right.
So and then we were getting people on stage.
Yeah, no, and we brought people on stage to like jump with us on the last song, which was, I mean, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, this is gonna be corny, but it worked
cool. Out really well. And on top of all that, we actually got to play a full set, the one and only time in that band that we got to play a full set.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Any other? Because I will say that's my number one.
Oh no, I love that one.
Because I don't have that many, but that's definitely like up there as like probably my number one, just because like you said of how great a vibe that show was.
I think for me, playing in like Salt Lake City was pretty cool. Like, I remember just like having really nervous backstage because I'd never played a show that big before, and I was standing like on the side, and they had to like bring us up in an elevator, and they're telling us like, oh, Wiz Khalifa did a music video in here, and we're like getting pulled up to like get ready to go play, and I mean it was a cool show. I just remember like telling everybody like, who we were, and we're from Billings, Montana, and people lost it. Like the crowd was like cheering like right away. Like after the first song, people were losing it.
That's pretty cool.
That like I said we were from Billings, Montana, and I was like, that's actually cool. Like, like they thought that was cool.
They didn't like groan or nothing.
No, like they thought it was like legit that we like made it from there.
That's awesome.
Or like we were just out of town or whatever. But like playing all these local shows like is a different feeling than that. And I barely got a taste of what it was like. But it just kind of like showed me like people look at us different than they look at a local band.
Right.
And it was just cool to experience.
Was that the best one on that tour? The Salt Lake City one?
Yeah.
Or was that the first one?
That was the first one. Denver was definitely pretty cool, but just for some reason with everything involved, Salt Lake City was the best.
Right on.
Like, there was a lot of people, and it was a bigger venue, and it was just like, I don't know, just the vibe of it was very cool. And like getting brought on stage to sing with the headlining band
right on
was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
And I told him before that what my favorite song was from them, and that I really loved it and all this, and he was like, well, you should sing it with me. And I was like, okay, like whatever.
Didn't think that might actually happen.
So I was standing and watching them from the side, like backstage, and he looks at me and he's like called me on stage.
Did your heart sink, or
I was
what?
like, oh my god, like I did. And then when I came out, the crowd started cheering, and I sang the last two choruses.
Which band was it again?
Stabbing Westward.
That's right.
Yeah. So that was really cool, and it was cool to experience that with them. I know we were really lucky to get that experience.
Sure.
And, you know, who knows if I'll ever experience anything like that again. I'm just glad I got to.
Hey, I mean, yeah, there's only so many chances in a lifetime that you get to do certain things.
Right.
And, I mean, that whether that's the only time you get to do that or the first time, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's still a special moment no matter what.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
Like, definitely with a lot of the shows I've played, there's different things that make a show cool, or what feels cool about it, or like you realize, oh, okay, this is why I'm doing this. Like, and different bands have different feelings. Like, I don't know, it's just interesting. Like, bands we've done have really been like high on my list for like what I really believe in and what I can get behind and stuff like that. But, you know, for me being a front man, which I'm not used to, it's like, oh, it's on me now. Like, I'm just used to being the guitar player or the bass player, and now I'm like, I gotta say stuff to the crowd. I'm used to D. Craig doing it.
Doing crowd work it's interesting. Like, I feel like I've done okay in the past. I think I can do better, but like, you learn with every show. You know, you learn different techniques and different ways to read the crowd.
Right.
And,
no, but I always thought that you were good at it, and I always looked up to you about it. But when we did our first band together, I remember that you were into doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we would rehearse a show rehearse for a show like it was.
Dude,
a show.
we used to have that projector screen.
Yeah, and we had a projector when we projected a picture of a crowd,
yeah,
and we faced it in the room. And we would have a jam behind while you were like giving a speech, and we'd get more intense with.
We've always done that in every band.
But I loved that, and even like that band, and just like other things that we've done, like just like the meaning behind the lyrics. I just really feel it, and just it's always a good goal to shoot for in my mind when I would do music.
Yeah, no, for sure, and I mean, I'm glad that it comes off that way, because that's how you want it to come off, you know?
Right.
You want it to come off meaningful. And
so would you say like you were inspired by maybe more like Shinedown or Disturbed for those like ideas?
Shinedown probably for sure, because he's just so good at I've seen him so many times. Really? And like every time they do something like that, it's just he's really, really good at captivating you and like catching your attention and making you listen to what he has to say, and you really feel it and stuff. And David Draymond too is another good one at that, but I think Brent Smith is definitely where I got that from.
I know I've seen him twice, and I know you've seen him like more than me. I don't know how many times.
Like 7 times.
7 times.
Yeah, 7 or 8. Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Like I definitely feel like that too when I've seen them.
Yeah.
Like it's like a theatrical like show interactive like experience.
Yeah.
So it's cool to like shoot for that.
And I've seen shows too where, you know, they'll just play through and then they'll do a little bit of a break where it's like, hey, thanks to so and so for coming out, joining us on this tour, and thanks for you guys coming out. But it's just simple stuff. It doesn't have to be like dramatic, and it works too. Yeah. So you can do it several ways.
Yeah, and it depends, you know, on how much time you have and whether you're headlining and just different things. But
and one thing's for sure, that's a big deal too. One thing's for sure, I've seen people do it badly too, and that sticks well. That'll stick in your head too, and you don't want that either.
Right, it's kind of like bombing as being a stand-up comedian.
For sure.
Like, and I've experienced a lot of like growing pains with like talking on the mic, and I've had times where I just fumble over my words like bad, and I'm just like embarrassed, like. But I've had a lot of embarrassing moments on stage.
Okay, there's a good one. Let's transition to that one. How about?
Do you have any?
Let me think while you tell yours.
Okay. I mean,
because I'm sure I here's.
You got some.
I actually talked about it on one of the other podcasts.
Okay.
But forgetting the lyrics on stage of my own song, and then on top, and then doubling down on that. And telling everybody that I fucked up, even though they don't know.
Especially originals, right?
Right. And it's like, you just panic in that moment, and it was dumb. And so looking back on that was bad.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another embarrassing one. The little kneel down and like
kneeling to
just
the ground,
being really like over dramatic, like trying to act like.
But I love that though.
I do too, but I'm gonna do it in a less like
theatrical.
Yeah.
When it's like a local show and it's like the sound guy and the bartender and like
maybe 5 people in the crowd.
Your buddy, and then you're like, all right, everybody, rise up.
Yeah.
And there's
or
just
come
like,
on, let's get up here. You kind of just gotta gauge the crowd. If the crowd wants to sit, they're gonna fucking sit.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do at some of those shows.
Yeah.
Because I've had my voice crack severely. I've had like my guitar come out of tune so bad that I had to just not play it for like an entire song and just bomb the whole thing. I broke in a string and then just the whole band waited for me to change my string. I've had my amp just die, but it didn't die. It just screeched the loudest screech ever. And it was like the last song, so I had to shut it off and like mime to the rest of the show.
Damn.
Gosh, what else? I'm trying to think. Like
you've had way more
embarrassing moments,
live show experiences than I have.
I mean, I've almost fallen, if not fallen. Definitely tripped.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
Yeah, I can't. I just don't have as many experiences, so it's hard for me to like.
The one I remember with you was definitely like my bass string breaking, and then everyone was just. I was changing it like lightning speed.
You did change that thing fast for what it is.
It took a little bit, but
it was impressive.
Yeah.
And then but it was your E string, wasn't it?
Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah, it was. It was either the B or the E, the lowest ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. But.
So there's no way you could have played a show without it.
Yeah. No, I had to change it, and I didn't have a backup with me.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I could have just like ignored that string, but if we had one song left,
right?
But I remember too, like when one of our bands we played a couple shows without a guitar player, so it was just drums.
Oh my god, dude!
And vocals, and it was like
that. Okay,
one of them was at Shooters, and the other was.
Did we do 2 of them?
It was at like the Porterhouse. Like show, basement show thing, and I remember somebody took a video of it, and I remember watching it and being like, "Why? Why did we do that?"
We're just so eager.
We were just so ready to get going, and like, it just sounded like the bass was so quiet. It just sounded like singing and drums.
Yeah, that was rough.
And I was like, full on, like going all out, like just like. I gotta make up for the fact that we don't have anybody.
Yeah, that was rough, man. The Shooters one, that would go on my list of embarrassing things. It was so embarrassing I apparently blocked it out because
you forgot it.
Yeah, and then I remember Jason was there and he goes, "Not too bad for not having a guitar player," and he's like a guitar player, so of course he was like definitely judging the whole time, and he's a judgmental guy anyway. But.
I don't know why we decided to do that.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking dumb. But it is what it is, right?
It's funny to look back on it.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think anybody's going to be like, "Hey, you're that guy that played at Shooters 6 years ago without a guitar player." Ha ha ha.
Yeah.